Before taking Concerta, my parents put me on a couple of other medications, the first being Paxil. Now, the effect that this drug had on my 10-year-old brain wasn't exactly sparkling, to say the least. Instead of giving me the energy and focus necessary to complete uninteresting tasks, that pill just dunked my head in wet cement. And to this day, I can't recall a time where I felt as slow and foggy as when I was on Paxil. Thankfully, I was only taking the drug for a few months before moving on to Stratira and then eventually Concerta, but I gotta tell you, that 3-month trial was a doozy. I would pop that pill like Pop Rocks, and it did little more than turn my brain into a hamster on an exercise wheel, just hauling ass. I was out of it all the time, and it just made me do some impulsive and irrational things. Like on Christmas morning that year, I got up real early before everyone else, snuck into the living room, turned on Home Alone on the TV, and then I dug under the Christmas tree to find all my presents. And once I discovered them all, I decided to open them. But I knew I couldn't get away with it. So I opted to just hide all my unwrapped gifts in the living room closet. And the logic behind this being that when it came time for everyone else to open their presents, I would be by the closet, pretending to unwrap my gifts and then pulling them out to show everyone. Like, say, a Dragon Ball Z game I got, because I was way into that at that point. And I didn't feel bad about doing this because the logic seemed foolproof, and what my mom doesn't know won't hurt her, and the more I know about the gifts she spent hours wrapping, the better. So once I put a lack of Christmas surprise in the living room closet, my mind wandered and then I was off to playing computer games. And I assumed nobody would go in the closet before it came time to lie to my entire family, so I felt pretty clever about what I had done. I also felt sort of hollow, but, you win some, you lose some. But, the party was over because my mom found out, and then she made me rewrap every single gift before my grandfather came over. And I gotta tell you, at this point I felt pretty phony. And I also made my mom a phony too, because we both had to play act surprise in front of my granddad about the gifts I already knew I got. And it was at this point that I wished my Paxil were substituted for actual Pop Rocks, because it wouldn't have done anything for me. But at least it would have tasted sweet. I wish you all a belated by 3 days Xmas.